Hey guys, this is Tauna, and today we're going to be talking about all the bonus card sheets have been revealed. So these are all the bonus card sheets for the upcoming Final Fantasy set, and some of them are absolute bangers. So these are going to be guaranteed one in every collector booster, and then 1 in 3 play boosters will have them. So if you're just opening play boosters, you can get them. In fact, potentially even in your pre-release, you could get one of these, or 2 of them technically, like average, which is very interesting. I don't know how that's going to go at a pre-release. It'll be fun to see how much they screw things up, because they're just going to make it, some of these are very powerful compared to like the base set, right? So each of them is a reskin Godzilla style. If you don't know what that means, they have a different name up here, and then the name of the actual Magic the Gathering card is down here. So they reskinned Magic the Gathering cards with promo or concept art from Final Fantasy. And these definitely seem to be aimed towards Commander, though there is one Commander card that is banned that is on this list. Maybe it's a hint that that card get reprinted or like unbanned in the future or something. We'll see. Let's go through them, starting off with the uncommon. So you'll get one of these 63.25% of the time. So we've got the Imperial Wall of Arcades as the Wall of Omen. And some of these arts are absolutely beautiful, right? I'm not going to focus too much on the uncommons because most of these are like, less than $1, but some of them are bangers, like Golbez, clad in darkness here as Sir Conrad. Sir Conrad is used in so many black decks. A great reprint to see here. We've got Memories of Nibelheim. I don't know how to pronounce that. Nibelheim. As Stroke of Midnight, an amazing removal card that a lot of white decks use. In fact, I think it's better than Generous Gift in a lot of circumstances. We've got Lucas Stadium here, a Strixhaven Stadium. Not many people are going to use this, but I think that in like the Proliferate deck, this is actually great, right? I really want to get this to put into my Final Fantasy X deck. We've got Search for the Frozen Esper here as Nature's Claim. Destroy an artifact or enchantment. Its controller gains 4 life. Only costs 1 green, which is great. We've got a promise fulfilled with Light Up the Stage here. Again, 15-cent card there. Thrum of the Vestige is Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt gets reprinted to heck, but it is a great card, right? Like, it's a really good card. It's mostly cheap because of the fact that it gets reprinted so much, but it's also just so useful. We've got Vanadil Adventurers here as Laboratory Maniac, used all the time in people who are using like, mill decks and self-mill, or draw your whole deck card, like draw your whole deck cards. Wow, okay, my brain's broken there. We've got Vayne Caridus Solidar as Finn the Fangbearer. If people are building a Death Touch deck, this is generally the commander that they'll use there, because it inflicts that poison as well whenever they get dealt by damage from them. We've got Battle of the Big Bridge here as Fatal Push, $1.40, so it's a little bit more expensive there. But, it's still, it's not an amazing card, but still a useful card, especially because it does cost, only 1 black to cast it. We've got Newfound Adventure here as Farseek. Farseek used all the time. I absolutely love the art here. It's really great. We've got Shadowbringers here as Dovin's Veto. See, some of the arts, like, I know someone's going to say this down below. Some of the arts to me don't really make sense. Like, this here is just the Shadowbringers for Final Fantasy 14, but it's like a counter spell. I don't know. Maybe there's something about these Shadowbringers that mean that it should be a counter spell. Maybe because they're countering something. I don't know. Someone let me know. Either way, a decent reprint to kind of see here as well. We've got Baron Rivalry here as Deadly Dispute, an incredibly useful card used so many times, like in so many different decks. Just sack a creature, an artifact, draw 2 cards, create a treasure. Really good. We've got Squall Leonheart here as Danitha. Yep, again, used all the time in any kind of different like equipment deck or something along those lines, or equipment she works well with. So definitely a good kind of reprint to see here, especially with like the Final Fantasy in-universe art, if you want to put it into, say, for example, the Limit Break deck. Now you've got like a Final Fantasy card that can go in there. We've got Wild Rose Rebellion here as just Counterspell. Yep. See, this one here, the name makes more sense as to it being a counterspell, because like, I guess they're countering the Emperor kind of thing, but the art I'm not so sure about. I don't know. Yeah, let me know about that one as well. We've got Van inspiring a Sky Pirate here as Captain Lannery Storm. Yep, good treasure, great dude. We've got Endwalker here. See, this one again, to me, doesn't make sense. Endwalker as Brainstorm. Someone mentioned something about in Final Fantasy XIV, people can share their memories and that kind of stuff, which is why this was chosen for this. But the art, to me, doesn't make sense for that. I don't know. Let me know that one as well. So just let me know if any of these cards, like if that I'm saying I don't understand the art, actually do fit the art. Next, we've got rare. So this is going to show up about 30% of the time. And this is the area where most of the cards are actually within this rare section. So let's go through. We've got Yuffie as Yuriko there. I hate Yuriko. My friend Connor has a Yuriko deck. And even though he's built at budget, it's like he's got to flip a card off the top. He's got to deal 7 damage to each of us, and then he's got to flip another one and deal another 7 damage. It's crazy. We've got Bartz here as Winota. Game changer for a reason. Absolutely amazing commander. Very, very useful in like one of the best kind of budget commanders that you can build for like getting up into CEDH, because she just absolutely stomps. We've got Venser here, Master Zand here as Venser. I think that he was just reprinted within Foundation's Jumpstart. However, before that, even though then he was still relatively cheap there. Not an amazing card, like a more expensive kind of counterspell essentially, but even then it counters it, but it goes back into the hand. We've got Arden Izunia here as Varagoth. Great card. Allows you to be able to like search up cards from your deck, put it onto the top. Amazing. Really, really useful in a lot of decks. Very cheap kind of version of like a vampiric tutor, or like a tutor that you can just repeatedly do. So definitely kind of useful there. We've got Cecil Harvey, our first absolute crazy reprint. In fact, I think this is either the second or third most expensive reprint within the set, within the bonus sheet. So this is as Timna the Weaver. Again, a CEDH commander, very, very insanely strong commander. And the price here is because they haven't got a reprint in it forever, as well as the fact that a very, very strong card. We got Giant of Babel here as Traxos, Scourge of Krug. So this is the one that my opponents are going to get in Thingy, like in the draft, and within the pre-release, and this is the one I'm going to get within the pre-release. I just don't like it. It's so whenever you cast a historic, so that's like your artifacts, your legendaries, and your sagas, that you're going to untap it. So it just doesn't untap unless you cast one of those. Like, it's useful in some decks, don't get me wrong, but it's just not great in my opinion. We've got Ida Kramer as Teferi Mage of Zalathir here. I didn't even realize Teferi had just a non-Planeswalker card until now. We've got SRAM, incredibly useful. So Furion as SRAM here, incredibly useful card. Whenever you cast an aura, equipment, or vehicle, draw a card. Just card draw just for casting your equipments that you're already going to be doing most likely in your equipment-based deck. We've got the Strahl here as Smuggler's Copter. Smuggler's Copter as the Strahl. Yep, no comments. Useful card. Not what I would like to see from my rare slot, but still good. Astral Titan here. So this is the Astral Titan here as Primeval Titan. So this one here is actually banned in Commander. So if you pull this, you can't use it within your Commander deck. You can use it within pre-release and everything like that. Like there's nothing stopping you from doing that if you wanted to. However, banned in Commander, but quite expensive card. Could potentially see a unban. We'll have to see. We've got Orphan Cocoon Felsi here as Muldrotha the Gravetide. Again, super useful card. People use it as commander. People use it in any kind of graveyard deck that includes the Simic colors, because it's just great to be able to cast those cards from your graveyard. Dawn Warrior's Legacy here as Mythic's Mastery. Another one that I don't understand as to the art matching what it's doing here. Don't know. Does the art match or not? We actually lost our game last night to someone. So the other guy was playing the the Mind Skinner and was milling this chick out, and then all of a sudden she cast this for overload cost, exiles everything from her graveyard, gets to cast it all, and we're like, yep, okay, well, that's the end of the game, because she had like 20 plus instances of sorceries in her graveyard. Like, yeah, okay, goodbye. We got Minwoo here as Mangara, the Diplomat. Again, you know, a great card for a lot of different decks, very useful. Garnet Till as Lauren the Third Path. Lauren of the Third Path is very useful. The art is questionable for it. Like, it's like a screen cap from a CGI cutscene. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the art for this one for sure. But either way, you know, Lauren is a very useful card, so Garnet will definitely see play. We've got Emmett as Kirik here. Kirik, again, you know, another very useful card. Quite cheap, gets reprinted a bit, so it's, you know, quite cheap because of that. But being able to cheat the mana cost is really great, especially because you can use it in the Scions Spellcraft, what is it, Science of Spellcraft deck, and then, you know, be able to cheat the mana cost there. You're still casting things that cost, you know, 3 or greater, but you're cheating the mana cost for them. We got Barnabas here as Crom, and again, another great card. A lot of these, like some of these have partner, which is good too, which means that, you know, you can take 2 of them, use them as your commander together, which is good. It definitely kind of, you know, screams the fact that it is made for commander, because partner's mostly for commander. We got Noctis Lucis. Wow, I'm not even going to pronounce that. As Kenrith here. I know that a lot of people were looking forward to this one because of the fact that Noctis can now run all of like his friends in his deck because of the fact that he's 5 color, because some of them were like, you know, spattered across all the different colors. The in-game, like the main set Noctis was only Esper, so you couldn't have run some of them, but this will allow you to actually be able to run all of them, which is really cool. We've got Warrior of Light as Joda. Again, you know, really great card in like a Final Fantasy set, because there's so many legendary creatures here. You could use this as your commander, and then boom, now you can add in like all of the different like main characters and stuff from the game, and do like a huge Final Fantasy crossover as the Final Fantasy or something. I don't know. Lightning Lone Commando as Ishin. Ishin actually just went up in price because of the fact that he's so useful within the Mardu deck from Dragonstorm. So very great kind of, you know, reprint to see here. And I do like the art a lot of this one too. We've got Benedicta here as Ishai. Again, another card with partner. Another, you know, really decent commander. Definitely, you know, a commander that's up there in regards to being potentially quite strong depending on what you're running as a partner and what other cards you're running and everything like that. A very, very nice card to have though. We've got Kuja here. I saw on the MTG Finance subreddit, the whole bunch of people were like buying up a bunch of Inalas because they're like, okay, she's going to spike up because of the fact that everyone's going to be wanting to play the black and red, because Rakdos is wizards within Final Fantasy, and now they've just reprinted her within the bonus sheet. So I find that hilarious, because now, you know, people could actually use this one and most likely aren't going to be wanting to buy all of those 60 copies of Inala that people bought up. We've got Gilgamesh as Godo, Bandit Warlord, very useful equipment-based card. Shantoto's Coercion here as Diabolic Intent, a very great reprint, right? Like, so you get to, you know, tutor up something as long as you sacrifice a creature. 11.27, decent price, very decent card. Darkness of Eternity here is Dark Ritual. No comments. Great card. Great reprint to see here. To the Crystal Tower here as Cryptic Command. Another great card to see a reprint here. Get to do 2 different things. You know, you got the 2 blue that you'd usually pay for a counterspell, then the other 2 that you can use to draw a card or tap all the creatures your opponents control, which is actually bonkers. That's like, yeah, that one's actually crazy, right? Tap all creatures your opponents. Yeah, that's really good. Or just return something to someone's hand too. Belam Garden here as Command Beacon. Very useful card for Commander. Crystal of Altar Cave. Chromatic Lantern. Make all your mana tap for whatever color you want. All your lands tap for whatever color you want, which is good. Fellsea Paradise here as Carpet of Flowers. Carpet of Flowers was quite expensive before the Doctor Who set came out, and then went down a lot when Doctor Who came out because of the fact that like everyone got the copies for it, and it was just an amazing card. So good to kind of see a reprint here of it here too, to hopefully keep that price down. Hugo Cooper here as Black Adam. This just reminds me of Black Adam. Like, it just looks like The Rock from the Black Adam movie. Yeah. Another card with partner though, so definitely useful. Kefka's Tower here as Bolus. I don't think I need to explain to everyone how strong Bolus is and how great it is to see a reprint of it here. Princess Sarah here as Azuna, Lost But Seeking. Play 2 additional lands per turn is a crazy great. Hero of Light here as Adeline. Adeline just got reprinted as well within that Mardu deck from Dragonstorm, as well as the reprints within Foundations. So she's gone down a lot in price, but still a great card to kind of see here, and definitely going to find some use. Now onto the Mythics, so you can see one of these 7% of the time when you do pull one of the cards from the list here. So this is the Emperor Hell Tyrant, a Yawgmoth Thran Physician. Yep, a great card. Great to see reprint here. Very nice, you know, cost if you do manage to pull one, you know, it's worth a bit. As well as the fact that you can do just a lot with the with Yawgmoth himself. So really good to see here. We've got Clive here as Vile Smasher. Vile Smasher did just get reprinted within Duskmourn Commander, but I don't think necessarily that changed the price too much. Either way, you know, good card to have. Another, you know, potential CEDH, I think. Yeah, he's using CEDH, right? Alongside one of the cards I'll show in a minute. But either way, kind of great card to see there. And then, I thought he was next, but either way, we got Terra here as Urza. I know there were some people complaining about the fact that Terra showed up as Urza here because Urza's, you know, Artificer and all that kind of stuff. But from what I gathered from my very little knowledge of Final Fantasy VI and from this art, this is at the start at before, you know, Terra gets unbrainwashed, when she is kind of brainwashed and she is, you know, doing all the magic tech stuff. So I think that kind of suits there. So this is the one that I was talking about, pairing up with Vile Smasher with his Titus, and he is as Thrasius here. Yeah, another, you know, CEDH commander, very, very strong commander here. Great one to have as well. We've got Stay With Me here as Rhystic Study, the second most expensive. So this is the second one. The one I said before was the third most, and Rhystic Study is absolutely bonkers, right? Like, you get to draw cards so much because people aren't really going to be paying the one. Knights of Sandoria as Ranger Captain of Eos. Great tutor card. Sacrifice stuff, make people not be able to cast things is great. I knew that the tutor was there. I had completely missed this section of it because I've never actually played this card. But if I get this, oh boy, watch out. We've got Zidane Tribal here as Ragavan. Ragavan won me my game last night, my other game, in my Edward Kenway deck. He's a great card. Great to kind of see a reprint here, even if I do absolutely hate the art of this. Kefka here as Perforos. A great, again, you know, impact tremors, but for 2 is good. Yeah, amazing card to see. The Cloud Sea Jin here as Nyx Bloom Ancient. Again, another very useful card. All of these mythics are at least very useful cards. Like, I don't think there's any of these that I would view as unuseful so far. And they fit into a lot of decks as well, which is great. We've got Nagila. So this is probably the one that's, I'm going to say, least useful, but that's because it's not going to fit into as many decks, and more likely if you're running Nagila, you're going to run her as a commander with Cloud Strife here. I also am not just a huge fan of like the blank backgrounds here because they just feel flat, especially with like the flat concept art. Right, concept art's meant to be flat because it's just concept art, right? But it kind of just melds into the background a little bit. Either way, you know, Nagila's an amazing card, amazing commander. Definitely can run a really great warrior tribal deck around her. We've got Seymour as Kinnan, another, you know, CEDH commander here. Kinnan is bonkers. One of the chicks at my LGS has a Kinnan deck that is aiming to create the infinite mana and then just spit out huge Eldrazi's. And when she does it, I'm like, yep, okay, let's just go to the next game because you've just spat out, you know, 3 huge Eldrazi's and I can't do anything about those. Yeah, It's pretty bad. He is just absolutely a bonkers card. We've got the Shadow Lord here as Gix, Yawgmoth Praetor. Keep in mind that Gix was just reprinted again within the Mardu deck again. I think a lot of them were within that Mardu deck that is shown here. Either way, a great card to see a reprint of, a very, very useful card, just has seen a reprint recently as to why they're why he's cheaper, but he's also going to go back up. He's like one of the cards that I would suggest people pick up at the moment. Gix, like the normal version of him, definitely great. Got Sephiroth here, the Savior, as attracts a Grand Unifier. Amazing card that works well here. Great art, etc. And then we've got Dragon of Mount Gul, the actual most expensive card in here. Hasn't been reprinted with since Battle for Baldur's Gate and is insanely great. Deal combat damage, roll d6, create that many treasures. You could potentially create 20 treasures. That's 20 mana. Yeah, absolutely insane. Oh, I thought that was the last one here. Nope, we've got Blessing of the Oracle here as a Chroma's Will. A Chroma's Will is, again, another very useful card, especially within Commander. Great card to kind of see a reprint of here. There's so many great cards on this. It's absolutely banger after banger. So let me know which one you guys are after. Are you going to build any of them as Commander? Is there any of them you like or dislike? Let me know as well about that art. Do they match and I just don't understand? I hope you guys had a wonderful day and goodbye.